let me ask you, Carl, real quick. You want to get into the Chris Woodward, you know, comment on Yankee Stadium or what? What do you got on
Yeah.
it?
Let's go back. I buried
You
that
buried
headline.
that.
I was going to say that for the no. Let's go back to it. Chris Woodward, your guy. He's a Texas guy, right?
I mean, he's their manager.
No, I know. I'm saying is he's like he carries like the fucking, you got your come and take it flags. You got your original state flags. Like he's probably got one of those flags tattooed on him.
I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know.
Okay. Well, in any event, he was ragging on Yankee Stadium. He sounded like an idiot about it. But when he's making these comments, I was thinking to myself, like, to be a manager in the big leagues and to have gone through a career in professional baseball, like you gotta have some fucking salt to your skin, thickness, and all that stuff. You're just like a weathered guy. And I'm surprised that he, at this point in his life and his career, would be willing to be like, well, that's how Yankee Stadium is. Like it's a small stadium, and commenting on something like that because, dude, your pitchers and their pitchers are pitching in the same fucking ballpark that night. Like I don't know. And my head just went to like, if you were going into Cincinnati, for instance, like a smaller ballpark, would you be like, oh, I gave up a home run in Cincinnati, it's a smaller ballpark? Or would you like, you have to be conscious of that going in and fucking put a game, I would guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're conscious of it, but you're still trying to pitch to your game plan about the same way. Right? Like if you get Rizzo out in hard off the plate, you're still going to try and go there, right? If you just happen to miss in or third, there's a chance he does damage and hits a 300, 20 something foot home run. Like that's just the parameters of the game. That's what's going on in Yankee Stadium. Everybody knows it, right? And we all have to play by the same rules. And there are other parks like that around the game that are a little bit smaller in this area or a little bit larger over here, right? Like, and then when hitters complain about having to hit in Detroit and they hit one 416 and it doesn't go over the fence, like, hey, like that's Detroit, right? And
Right.
if you're in Wrigley and the wind's howling out, a guy hits the ball in the first row, that's how it goes. Look at the flags, right?
That has a sub. I'm sorry, I go on these tangents here, but then like I have to ask, like, well, the wind's howling out at Wrigley. I always thought if you had a big sinker like Hendricks, and obviously you had a sinker, and like guys that relied on the sinker, like, isn't it all right if you're throwing into the wind?
And the ball moves a lot more. Granted, if you miss, still going to get hit just as far. So I didn't mind pitching into the wind. And I think a lot of guys are the same way, especially sinker changeup guys. I could be wrong. Curveball, probably. I think the curveball adds a little bit more bite to the curveball. I don't know if it has much of an effect on the slider or cutter, but absolutely the sinker and the changeup curveball definitely will bite significantly more. So, I mean, you get added benefit because of that wind in your face. Then it actually kind of evens itself out, if they elevate it, because it's obviously going to travel much further.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a ballpark play so different than Wrigley? Right. Wind blowing in, like you could barely get it over the fence. Then blowing out, guys are hitting them on wavelength. It's insane.
I was just looking out our window because I can see there's a flag across the street because we're down the street from Wrigley. It's just fucking blowing. I mean, it's just going nuts right now. And the thing is, it's drastic at all times. There's very rarely you go there and there isn't, it's just like a soft drizzle on the flag. Like, no, dude, the thing's either blowing across, it's blowing in, it's blowing out. I was there earlier in the year for the 21-0 game against the Pirates, and the flag it's about as much as I've ever seen the wind blowing out. But Hendricks was pitching, and the Pirates couldn't fucking touch him because his changeup and his sinker were just dancing. And it's like, going in the game, and it's like, well, I bet the Cubs heavily -1.5, -2.5, like just laid a ton of. Kyle Hendricks throwing when the wind's blowing out is actually like a huge advantage. But I'm trying to think of other ballparks that would play different. But then do you like when you go to a park and they like close the roof, or if do you like going down to Arizona knowing that like it's going to be 96 degrees and it's going to be the same thing?
They always have the roof closed there. What I don't like is like you go to Milwaukee and it's 84 degrees outside or 80 degrees and they close the roof. If it's a nice day out, sunny,
Well, those are
No
Milwaukee,
wind, like
Wisconsin people,
leave the
but they
thing
need
open.
AC.
Yeah,
I should just say that. I'm sorry.
I prefer the roof open if it's not bad weather, and I think a lot of guys do
Yeah.
as well. Like I want to see the sky. I don't want to see. I mean, for Christ's sake, like Tampa's got to get a new ballpark. You haven't been there yet, have you?
No, we're supposed to go together.
No, don't go.
All right. Last question about the Woodward thing. Would you be embarrassed if your manager was like out making these comments, or the guys in the clubhouse being like, "Come on, dude. Like we just lost the fucking game. Come on, bro. Like what are you doing?"
I would see that and kind of feel sorry for him. Like, you're gonna complain about that? Come on. I mean, the guy that gave up the homer, yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is.